Hello, everyone. This is Lisa from Power Wheelchairs for Success, and today we're going to tackle fire safety. October is Fire Safety Month, so we're going to continue on that theme, and we'll do other things too, but we want to make sure that we cover the fire safety tips and tricks to the best of our ability. I'm not a firefighter, but I am a social worker, and I do care about you. And if you have a disability, especially mobility issues, you're in a wheelchair, whatever it might be, want to make sure that you are able to kind of think this through, because everybody is different, everybody's home is different, and so it's important to kind of think it through in terms of, did I review this? Did I do that? Oh, I could do this, to make it a little bit safer. So I'll leave a ton of links down below in the description box so you can look at other articles and kind of think it through and say, oh yeah, on Saturday I'm going to do XYZ, or I'll call my girlfriend and, have her check, whatever. So I want to make sure that we cover as much as possible. I know for some of you, reading is hard, and so sometimes just listening to the information is much easier. And I know that happens to me. My vision isn't great, so I get tired easily, if I had to read through a whole description. So I wrote all this down. I'm hoping that it is helpful and that you can kind of think, oh yeah, I should, or review the video as many times as you need to remember and to kind of plan. So here we go. The most dangerous rooms are usually the bedroom, the kitchen, and the living room. And we're going to discuss why. Once we go through the tips, you're going to realize, oh yeah, that's why. Okay, so as we're going through this. All right, so prevention tips, which are 13 of them. So just a few. So here we go. 1, the rule for candles, they really need to be blown out if nobody's going to be in the room. So I think it's fine to have candles. It's just that if you walk out of the room, just blow them out. Don't leave a candle burning by itself. Holiday lights, same thing. If you're going to bed, everybody is gone, just turn off those lights. Don't leave them burning during the night because, you don't know, a storm, whatever, a surge, just a little spark can start an issue. So holiday lights, just turn them off when you're going to bed. If you smoke, if you're a smoker, just smoke outside, don't do it in the home. You could fall asleep, ashes could fall on the carpet and just start a problem. A lot of people sometimes fall asleep in bed with a cigarette, and that can start off a fire for sure. So, and because smoking is not good for us anyway, and maybe for the holidays you start planning on, maybe I should give that up. So I'm not saying you should, I'm just saying, you might want to think about it. So anyway, if you're a smoker, it's better to do it outside for safety's sake. Never walk away while cooking. A lot of people do this, and that's why the kitchen can become a little dangerous, because people are cooking and then telephone rings, or an animal's doing something, a pet is doing something, or kids are running around and mom goes to check it and she leaves a pan, cooking or something boiling, and a mess can be created. So, or sometimes, I saw a little show where a couple went out, the husband went out grocery shopping, the wife was very pregnant, she was downstairs, fell asleep. And the husband came in with the groceries, put it on the stove, bumped one of the knobs, and walked away. He didn't know, he didn't do it intentionally. And of course the bags of groceries set on fire, and it was a big mess. So it's just little things like that can cause an accident. So a kitchen is a big issue because we cook in there, because we have things that can get hot, and we need to be careful So groceries, don't put them on the stove, put them on the counter. If you're cooking, don't walk away. Finish your project, finish what you're cooking completely, and don't walk away. Don't get distracted. Make sure that you're cooking in the moment that you have time, and people are not going to pull you away or distract you. Use a crock pot. Sometimes this happens to me. If my energy is really low and I'm distracted and kind of, not in the mood of cooking, I'll look for a recipe and do it in the crock pot. And then, I can just leave it there for the 2 or the 4 hours, whatever. I can make some extra food in the crock pot and just freeze it. So the crock pot can save you a lot of energy and time. So think about that, but it's good to check it once in a while. So make sure extension cords and power strips are healthy. So I know sometimes we forget about this, but I just did a whole inspection of of the facility where I live. They asked me to do that, and I'm not an electrician, but certainly I did it with another member. We went room to room to make sure that power strips weren't overloaded, that the power strips were good and healthy and not yellowish, and made sure all the cords were healthy. We need to request some new power strips because some of them are pretty old. They're over 20 years old. So and any extension cords that look yellow, brittle, dry, you want to change those because it just dries up, breaks, and a little spark could start in those little puppies, and you don't want that either. So just change those. Let's see. Get rid of any cords that are old and yellow, brittle. Have your heat system, your hot water system checked at least once or twice a year. Sometimes people forget, but put a calendar down by the heater in your basement or the attic, wherever it is, so that or put the calendar in the kitchen so you know when you need to schedule a checkup for that heater for your home, so that if it needs, I don't know. I don't do these kind of things, but if it needs, changing a filter or changing a particular wire, I don't know. But do have those checked at least once a year to make sure it's healthy and and it's up to date. Let's see. If you have electric heating baseboards, make sure if those heaters are on that you don't have anything leaning against them. So once those heaters go on, move things off of it so that doesn't start, a fire. So make sure you have it clear for when those heaters go on. Let's see, what else? If you live on a second floor, I don't know. I know I don't have one here, but there is a recommendation of a ladder. If you're on an escape ladder for people who are on second floor or another floor that's not the first floor. So I don't know, escape ladder, see if that is prudent for you, for your situation. Have large appliances such as refrigerators, stoves, etc. on their own wall plug and never in a power strip, okay? That's really important for the microwave to be plugged in directly into the wall, for the refrigerator to be plugged in to the wall to have its own outlet, for the stove especially to be plugged in its own outlet, and never on a power strip. Any mechanical thing that is heated or heats up or, is a large electronic, it should have its own plug and never in a power strip. Never plug 2 power strips on the same wall outlet. So, people say, huh? But this is important. Never plug, 2 power strips in the same outlet. So you want to, or even worse, to plug two power strips together, strung together. You never want to do that either because there'll be an automatic overload and you'll put yourself in danger. So anybody out there who has a string of power strips, forget it. You can't do that or shouldn't do that. So you can put an extension cord into a power strip, but never one power strip plugged into another one. So it's things like that that we do that we think, oh, it'll be fine. But those things can overload and cause a fire easily. So you want to prevent that, and only one power strip per outlet. If you have memory issues in terms of turning things off and on, Alexa or Siri can be good tools to use. You can put in Wi-Fi type light bulbs, and then Siri and Alexa can connect to those, or apparatuses too. You can put them into a radio, plug it into a radio, or other things that you tend to leave on by accident, and ask Siri or Alexa to turn it off. So there's a whole setup for those things. So you want to check that on the internet and not trust me. So I just know that it's good to if you forget, to put it on a schedule. And you can do that with certain electronics such as Siri and Alexa. Okay, fireplace, if you have one, again, just put it out completely if everybody's moving out of the room. Never leave it going by itself, or to trust that it will just go out during the night, because a little spark can just jump out of the fireplace and start some serious trouble. So fireplace also, if everybody's going to bed, you're going to bed, nobody's going to be in the living room or wherever the den where the fireplace is, just put it out, use some water, make sure it's completely out. All right, so there's a lot more tips just depending on your living space and your situation. So I will leave the tips at that, but you can also add other tips down below that work for you or you think it would be prudent to have to prevent any kind of fires. All right, it is crucial to have a plan. So this is the second part of this video, which is really, really important. So having a plan, if you do have a fire, fires can happen for an accident that you didn't intend. Just like this couple who, mom was downstairs and the husband came in and put the groceries on top of the stove, bumped one of the dials, and one of the discs went on, and the bags from the groceries caught on fire. So we don't intend these things to happen. But if they do, whether inside our home or even outside our home, which we don't have much control, we need to have a plan in case it does happen. So make sure in all areas that are clear, especially for wheelchairs anyway, you should have, a clear path from your bedroom to the kitchen to the front door to the back door, and not have any clutter in which when you're trying to run out the door, that you get stuck on something or stumble on something, okay? So make sure your paths in the floor, you have things clear. Have 2 exits. So this is really critical in your plan, to have 2 exits in the front and the back, or the front and the side, I don't know. But have 2 ways to get out in case your front door is blocked. Have an essential bag, of things that you would need if you ran out the door. In my case, it's quite a few things. So I have a little baggie in one of my drawers, and I know just grab that and it'll have, extra little stuff in there that I need if I had to run. So, in all the essential items, especially, an extra charger for your wheelchair if it's power wheelchair, or, just really essential medications, any breathing apparatus you might need. So anything critical that you need to just grab and leave. So, and something you don't have to think twice about. Keep the plan simple. You don't want to say, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, I was going to do this. No, just really simple that you can handle in a minute. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to grab this and get out. So really simple. Once you have that plan in place, this is what I'm going to do if there's a fire or any kind of emergency. I need to get out of the house. This is what I'm going to do. You need to practice it. Go through it and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. And whether it's just yourself, especially if it's just yourself, because there's not someone there who's going to help you and remind you. So if you're by yourself, then make a plan. You know, you can review that plan with your doctor. You can review that plan with your local fire department. You can review that plan with a friend, you know, with your caregiver, and make sure that, you know, it's tight, it's good, it works. And you've got to practice it to see if it does work. And make sure that, you know, the alarm goes off. Okay, you need to go, grab your little baggie and out the door. Okay, so practice it a couple of times through the year. I know we're going to have a drill here at the center because I reminded them it's Fire Safety Month, the whole month of October, so they're going to do a drill, I think next week maybe. So it's a surprise, and we need to do what we were told to do. I think we're supposed to come in our rooms and shut the doors. Our doors are fire safe. So they're fire doors, basically. And then the firemen come in and, you know, and we're going to have the fire department come and talk to us next month, in the beginning of November. Right now in October, they're too busy, but they did promise to come and see us at the beginning of November, which would be fun, you know, to see some firemen and have some lunch with them and all that kind of stuff. So, all right. So again, you know, practice your plan a few times, not just once a year, but a couple of times so you remember. If there's something that doesn't quite work, then you can make adjustments to that plan. Oh, no, I couldn't reach XYZ, or this was very cumbersome, so let's do it differently, you know. So it's important to go through it, make sure that it works and that you don't, you know, get all tangled up in things, you know. So practice makes perfect, and practice will make it go much smoother. And yep, that's all I had. So those are two parts of this video, and I'll make I'll make the chapters there so you can go to that section. So it's all the tips, the 13 tips, and then the safety plan. So those are the two parts of this video. And I'll also attach some links so you can look at what a safety plan would look like for you in a wheelchair. And I'll also put some links in terms of other tips because, you know, some people live in apartments, some people live in homes, some people live in a setting like mine. It's a residential type setting, so everybody's situation is different. So for me to say this is the absolute plan, I can't because you have to adjust it to your needs and to your living situation. So you might also be living in a facility or a community of people with disabilities. So sometimes it'll require for you to learn what the rules and regulations are, what the policies are if a fire erupts, or maybe you live in a community that you've never talked about it, never. So that would be important to have a meeting and say, hey, we've never discussed, you know, if there's a fire, what we will do to keep ourselves safe and to be able to exit as quick as we can. So, and for someone to call the fire department, and who is that person who's going to call? So, any other questions, any other comments, post them down below. Again, this is Lisa from Power Wheelchairs for Success. I'm a social worker. I use a wheelchair. And I want to post this for the month of October because it is fire safety, and I want all of you to be safe.